Hello my dear students, welcome back to the channel. This video is exclusively for Karnataka Board grade 10 SSLC students. As you all are already aware that complete focus in question paper is given to MCQs, that is multiple choice questions. So we have some questions from math subject. So without wasting any time, let us get into the problem solving. So we have a first question. So yeah, it's a second one. So there is a nth term given. The question is from arithmetic progression. Nth term is 4n plus 1. So we have to find out the common difference. Four options are there with us. So nth term of AP. So let me take the nth term as Tn. So nth term of an AP is given as 4n plus 1. So Tn is given as 4n plus 1. The value of Tn is 4n plus 1 and they are asking the common difference. So we know in arithmetic progression common difference is the difference between two consecutive terms, that is difference between T2 minus T2 and T1. So to get T2 value substitute n as 2 here. So 4 2 is 8, 8 plus 1 9, and to get T1 put n as 1. So 4 into 1 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5. So 9 minus 4, 5 is 4. So option B is correct answer here. So we'll encircle and we will shade it properly. Now, question number 3. Question number 3 is from quadratic equation. One quadratic equation is given. They are asking whether this particular quadratic equation has these, whether they have a real, no real roots or more than 2 real roots. So like that, 4 different options are given. So to find out the nature of the roots, we need to know the discriminant. So discriminant is given by b square minus 4ac. So we need to get ABC values here. So let me write down the equation x square plus x minus 5. So compare this with the standard equation of quadratic, which is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So you will get a as 1, which is the coefficient of x square, b is 1 and c is minus 5. So I am finding the discriminant here to find out the nature of the roots, and the discriminant is given by b square minus 4ac. b is 1, a is 1 and c is minus 5. So b is 1 here. So as per the given equation, the equation is x square plus x minus 5. So 1 square is 1, then 4 5s are 20, but minus is there. So 4 into minus 5 is minus 20, minus into minus is plus. So I'm getting the answer 21, which is greater than 0. So whenever a discriminant is greater than 0, we get option A, which is two distinct and real roots. So we have few conditions based on a discriminant value. Suppose if the value of discriminant is equal to 0, we get a real and equal roots. That is option B would have been the answer under that scenario. If D is less than 0, then we get a imaginary roots. But in this case, D is greater than 0. So we get two distinct real roots. So option A is correct. Now the value of cos in fourth question. Cos A is given as 4 by 5 and they are asking us to find out the value of tan A. Cos A is given as 4 by 5 and they are asking us to find out the value of tan A. Simple trigonometric ratios based question. So we know that cos A is nothing but base by hypotenuse. So make one right angle triangle. Base is 4, hypotenuse is 5. So obviously perpendicular will be 3. 3, 4, 5 are the famous trigonometric triplets. So perpendicular is 3, base is 4, hypotenuse is 5. Then tan of A value they are asking. So this is the angle theta or angle A in this case. So tan A is opposite by adjacent. So opposite is 3 and adjacent is 4. So 3 by 4 is the option. Option B is correct in this case. Now moving to next question, fifth one. So the value of sin A or cos A never exceeds. Now exceeds means there is a maximum upper limit. So if you take the values from sine of 0 to sine of 90 degree for different standard values, so the maximum possible answer is 1 because sine 90 is 1. So it will never exceed 1. So option A is correct. Now sixth question. Two equations are given. Question is from pair of linear equations. So 4 options are there. So we can't really conclude just like that just by observing the equations. So we have a set of 3 different rules to conclude whether the given equation has unique solution or only one solution or they don't have a solution. So to solve this question number 6, you need to know the table, that is this particular table where ratios are there, and with respect to that graphical representation and algebraic interpretation and consistency. You can pause the video and you can make a note of this. Question number 6 is based on this. Now if you look at question number 6, two equations are given. 2x plus 3y minus 9. 2x plus 3y minus 9 is the first equation. And we have a second equation which is 4x plus 6y minus 18. So compare it with the standard quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c. So always remember that in pair of linear equation, the coefficient of a or coefficient of x in this case is the value of a1, and this is b1 and this is c1. So coefficient of x is a1, which is 2, and coefficient of y is 3, which is b1 value, and c1 is minus 9. Similarly, in this case, find out a2, b2 and c2. a2 is 4, b2 is 6, c2 is the constant with the sign which is minus 18. So just take a ratio of particular constants a1 by a2, b1 by b2 and c1 by c2 and see which condition it will satisfy. So based on that we can give the conclusion. So let us substitute the values. a1 is 2, a2 is 4, b1 is 3, b2 is 6, c1 is minus 9, c2 is minus 18. So fractions need to be represented in the least form. So 2 ones are 2 twos are 3 ones are 3 twos are 9 ones are 9 twos are. So the ratios are becoming equal. That means a1 by a2, b1 by b2 and c1 by c2. All three ratios are equal. So the moment when three ratios are equal, now we need to decide which particular answer is correct. So if ratios are equal, so we get an answer, that is option D, infinitely many solutions. So that's why I have given here a table. So this question was related to second case. If starting two ratios are not equal, then we get exactly one solution. I am talking about the different probabilities with respect to the question. If only two ratios are equal and those two ratios are not equal to the third ratio, then we don't get any particular solutions. Now moving to next question. We have completed 6 multiple choice questions. Now let us move to 7th question. The mid value of class interval is called. So direct concept based question. So option D, class mark. Suppose let us assume there is a class interval from 100 to 200. So to find out the class mark, we take an average or midpoint of this. So average or midpoint is add the numbers and divide by 2. So 100 plus 200 is 300, 300 by 2 is 150. So in the particular example where I have taken, so 150 is the answer. So that is why mid value of class interval is called as the class mark. Now question number 8 is, which of the following statement is false? So very important keyword here is false. So undoubtedly we have to go through all the options here. First option, all isosceles triangles are similar. See, isosceles triangles means two sides are equal and third side is unequal compared to the two sides. All quadrilaterals are similar, possible, because we have a multiple different types in quadrilaterals. We have a trapezium, we have a parallelogram, we have a rhombus. So all of them are similar. So first of all, similar means two geometrical diagrams are said to be similar if they have a same shape. So if option B is correct, none of these will be eliminated by default. And all circles are similar, which is true. All circles are similar, all equilateral triangles are similar, all squares are similar, but all isosceles triangles are not similar. So statement which is false is option A. So let us move to few more questions. Now this you can take it for practice purpose. Again, this is based on the same table which I have shown here. So based on this table, we have given a first question. Again, you have to take out A1, B1 and C1 value. Make sure that you are taking this plus 3 to LHS, so it will become minus 3. So on comparing, a1 is coefficient of x, which is 1, b1 is coefficient of y, which is 2, and c1 is minus 3, because I am taking 3 from right hand side to left hand side. Similarly, here in second equation, a2 is 5 and b2 is coefficient of b, which is 10, and c2, take minus 1 to LHS, it will become plus 1. So c2 will be plus 1. So take a ratio and see which option is more suitable. So this first question is a practice question. Now second one. So again, nth term of an AP, that is arithmetic progression, is given. You have to find out the third term. So put n equal to 3 here to get the answer, as simple as that. So 5 into 3 is 15, 15 plus 3 is 18. So option D is correct. Now moving to next question. We have to find out the value of k according to this particular given equation. So it looks like a quadratic equation because here k is a constant term here, which has a equal roots. So let me write down the equation. X square minus 4x plus k equal to 0. Now if you look at the option of this particular question, options are a constant numbers because we are finding the value of k. So k here is a third term of quadratic equation, which is a constant value. And one hint is, after solving we get a equal roots. So find out the discriminant of this and equate it with 0, because as per the hint given, the answers are having the equal roots. So equal roots means we have to equate with 0. So discriminant is b square minus 4ac. Compare it with standard quadratic equation. So you will get a equal to 1 and b. In place of b we have a minus 4. Take the coefficient along with the sign, and c is a constant, which is my target, which I am finding here. So substitute these three values here. B is minus 4 into a is 1 and c is k. Equate it with 0. So minus 4 whole square is plus 16 and minus 4 into 1 is minus 4 into k equal to 0. Move this minus 4k to RHS, it will become plus 4k. So the value of k will be 16 by 4, which is 4. So the value of k is 4. So if you compare with the options, so option C is correct. See, option D we have a minus of 4. So you need to be very careful here. Now fourth multiple choice question. If the value of sine theta is equal to cos theta, then the value of theta. So one by one you need to substitute and see. Let us begin with 0. So we know that sine 0 is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So obviously they are not equal. If I put 30 degree, sine 30 is 1 by 2, whereas cos 30 is nothing but, so sine 30, if you put theta equal to 30 degrees, sine 30 is 1 by 2, whereas cos 30 is nothing but it is equal to sine 60, which is root 3 by 2. Again they are not equal. 45 degree, let me substitute. So it's a trial and error method, hit and error method. So option C, sine 45 degrees 1 and even cos 45 is 1. So obviously option C is correct. If you go for option D, sine 90 is 1, cos 90 is 0. So obviously they are not equal. Now in fifth question, direct multiple choice question based on distance formula. There are 2 points P and Q. We have to find out the distance between them. I'm going a bit fast. So P and Q are the points 2, 3 and 4, 1. So let me do it here. The coordinates of P is 2, 3 and the coordinates of Q is 4, 1. So let me call this first coordinate as x1, y1. So x1 is 2, y1 is 3. Point Q coordinates are x2, y2. x2 is 4, y2 is 1. We have a direct formula for distance. So distance formula is given by x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. All you need to do is substitute the values and carefully do the calculation. x2 is 4, x1 is 2 plus y2 is 1 and y1 is 3. So 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 square is 4, 1 minus 3 is minus 2, minus 2 whole square is again minus 2 whole square is plus 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 can be written as 4 into 2 because 4 is a perfect square. I will take out outside the square root. So we get 2 root 2 is the answer. So option B is correct in fifth question. Now in question number 6, they are using the property of quadrilateral. So we know that The sum of four angles in a quadrilateral is 360 degree. There is one diagram given here. So in this diagram, angle O is 110. So we know the property which we studied in circles chapter, the tangent drawn to a circle at any point makes an angle of 90 degree. So angle P and angle Q will be 90 degree in this case. So angle, let me take it as T. Angle T they are asking. So the sum of quadrilaterals is 360 degree. So angle P, angle O, angle Q plus angle T is equal to 360 degree. So angle T is unknown, whereas P is 90 degree, Q is 110 degree, and Q is also 90 degree. So if you solve this, you will get the answer. 90 plus 90, 180. 180 plus 110, 290. If it goes to RHS, minus 290. So angle T is 360 minus 290. Obviously 360 minus 290 will give you 70 degree. So option B is correct in sixth question. Now moving to last two questions. We have to find out the CSA of a cylinder whose circumference is given as 44 centimeter. So we know that circumference of a cylinder is 2 pi r, which is given as 44 centimeter, and also height of cylinder is given, which is 10 centimeter. So they are asking curved surface area of a cylinder, direct formula based question, which is 2 pi rh. So the value of 2 pi r is a circumference which is 44, height is 10. So 440 centimeter square is the option in this seventh question. 400, yeah. So we have option A. Now eighth question is asked based on theorem. So two triangles are there whose corresponding sides are in the ratio of 1:4. So let me draw two triangles to make you understand it in a better way. We'll not get into whether they are equilateral or any different form. So two triangles are there whose corresponding sides. So corresponding to AB we have a PQ. So the ratio of corresponding sides is 1:4. So in fraction I can write it as 1/4. So what is the ratio of their area is asked in the question. So area of triangle ABC to area of triangle PQR if I do, then as per the theorem, if I take the ratio of the areas, then it is equal to the ratio of square of the corresponding sides. So AB by PQ are the corresponding sides. So this can be written as AB by PQ the whole square. So ratio is given as 1/4. So 1 square is 1, 4 square is 16. So this particular fraction if I represent in ratio, it will become 1:16. So option A is correct. So students, make sure that you are practicing like this lot of different multiple choice questions, and you are equally giving the importance to all the chapters. Anyway, out of 15, 4 chapters are eliminated. Out of 11 chapters, you will be getting all the multiple choice questions. So make sure that all the one markers you will be focusing more, and take this as a model paper, and based on this you can solve a few of the questions. Few hint is, make sure that you are aware about all the 11 chapters formulae, because based on formulae they can frame the multiple choice questions, and go through all the one marker, because majority of the multiple choice questions can be framed based on one marker questions. So with the provision of these two hints, I would like to conclude here. Thank you so much for your valuable time, and all the best for your exams.